Welcome to the Family Leaders Classroom. As a former teacher and a basketball coach and a high school principal, education is very important to me. But as an Iowan and as an organization in Iowa, education is important to all of us. And we applaud Governor Branstad for making education a focus in this legislative session because we need to improve our education in the state of Iowa. But let me just cut to the chase. The family leaders against this current education bill. But let us tell us not what we're just against, but I also want to tell you what we're for. Here's our concerns about the current education bill in the state of Iowa. It continues to increase the money into education, but we continue to see diminished results. We believe this is the problem, so just by throwing more and more money at that problem, we don't believe that's going to be a solution. We believe we'll just see increased funds and decreased results. We're also seeing an issue in this education bill where the state believes it has more and more of the answers for our local school districts. The state's control, the state's dominance on top of our local school districts, that they know best. They're big government and they know best. We've tried this before. Governor Culver's tried this. And again, it increases the amount of funds and it diminishes the results. The core curriculum. From an educator's point of view, you now are controlling what I teach in the classroom, and you don't even know who my students are. I have to differentiate my teaching in order to maximize their achievement. Don't control what I teach. From a parent's point of view, this is a great platform for social engineering. And you tie accreditation to sexual orientation or other things that are just completely outside the realm of education. We're against the core curriculum at every level, so we definitely don't want to see an expansion of the core curriculum. Now the state's coming in, they're saying this is how we're going to evaluate your teachers and administrators. We're going to tell you how you compensate your teachers and administrators. Really? Where'd the state get all these great answers? And why do the 300 plus school districts have no input to say what's best for their local school district? That's a concern of ours. And now they're even talking about the hiring practices of what a grade point a student needs to have. Any educator will tell you, grade point does not determine the effectiveness of a teacher. God gives us all different talents and abilities, and He's gifted some to be great teachers. Don't diminish their ability to get inside the classroom to have impact and influence on the kids. And we don't want to have the state requiring private schools about what job openings there are. That's a bad part of the bill. We believe the Department of Education, led by Director Glass, just continues to increase the bureaucracy, take resources out of the classroom to fund an ever-growing bureaucracy. I believe right now Governor Branstad is getting bad input from his leaders like Director Glass and like Linda Fondell. So I would encourage Governor Branstad to resist that. And let's go back to some core principles. And then we see nothing about good alternatives to government education like homeschooling, private schooling, charter schools, things that make public schools better. In Northwest Iowa, we have a plethora of private schools, home schools, and what we see is good public schools in Northwest Iowa as well. So the better the choices are for parents, education continues to rise. We think you need to give real advantages to homeschool, private school, and to charter schools, not have them under government control. Those are our concerns. But let's take a look at our solutions. We think the solutions are fairly simple. One is simplify the funding, don't control the funding. Simplify the funding of the local school districts based on the students that they serve. Don't disseminate the funding so there's just more and more hoops to jump through. Simplify the funding to the local school districts. Set expectations, don't control curriculum. Set the expectations and how you're going to measure those expectations so teachers can decide how they achieve the expectations. And when teachers determine how they achieve the expectations and local school districts do, you create a learning environment where one school district learns from another school district, one teacher learns from another teacher. Let the teachers teach. I've traveled the entire state many times, and I'm telling you right now, the teacher's common cry is not, pay me more money. And it certainly isn't, let's have the government take more control. The teacher's common cry is just, let me teach. Simplify and get out of their way. And then let the local school districts lead. Don't control them as one size fits all. Let these local school districts lead on how they compensate their teachers, who they hire in the hiring practices, the evaluation standards. Some of them may have a 360 evaluation system that everybody will want to model after. But let a local school district determine that, as well as how they pay for their teachers, and then encourage parental choice. Give parents options by either the dollar following the child to a private school, homeschool, or charter school, or at least by giving increased tax breaks for those parents who choose a different route than government education. Basically, what we're saying here is if you follow this system, you will increase research and design, which is critical to any learning environment, amongst the local school districts, amongst the teachers, but you would simplify it. You would need less of the Department of Education, not more of the Department of Education. I believe you would need less resources, not more resources. Instead of getting less student achievement, you would get greater student achievement. So Governor Branstad is right. We need to put a focus on education. Let's get back to what made Iowa great in education in the first place. Let's encourage parents and local school districts, communities who know these children best. Let them lead. Let's set high expectations for all of our children. Let's let great teachers teach. And let's create this environment for learning that elevates best practices, not only so we can lead in Iowa, but Iowa can once again lead the country. And you can learn a lot more about it by going to our website at thefamilyleader.com.